Merhabalar. Bugün sadece LoL klasikle değil, inanılmaz bir lobiyle karşınızdayım. Sol tarafa bakacak olursanız Feral Pony'nin kendisi ve Freak'in kendisi burada. Hekarim'in şampiyon tasarımcısı ve League of Legends patchleri deyince akla gelen bir isim. Eğer gerçek bir eskiyseniz bu iki arkadaşı da tanıyor olmanız lazım. Kendileri LoL'ü yapan kişiler oldukları için bu İngilizce bir video olacak ama YouTube'un altyazı sistemi artık gelişmiş olduğu için ona güveniyorum. Benim de böylece ilk İngilizce League of Legends videoma tanıklık etmiş olacaksınız. After that long intro, sorry for bearing with me. Hello Freak. Hello Feral
Hello.
Phony.
How you doing?
So I have already gave a quick introduction about like how legendary you guys are, but do you wanna like tell my audience like what do you do?
Sure. I'll go first. So, hey everyone, I'm Feral Pony, also known as Brian. I work on the design team here in League. So I started back in 2010 in season 1 as the game designer, and then I eventually led a couple of the design teams on League, and then I was the game director for Wild Rift, working on that, and then most recently, game director and design lead on League Classic.
Yeah, and I'm Freak. I joined in late 2009 as a community intern. First thing you probably would have seen of me is Champion Spotlights from way back in the day. And yeah, spent a long time working in community, doing a bunch of like video stuff, and then spent 10 years shoutcasting the LCS and International League of Legends tournaments. And then for the last 3 years and a half, I've been a game designer. Most that's been spent on the live modern game, but as of about 6 months ago, I've been working on League Classic. So I'm one of the designers here on Classic. I built a few of our champions. I did Jax. I was in charge of Jax and Kale. So in this game, if there's Jax bugs or Kale bugs, it's my fault. Otherwise, I mostly did like some systems design.
Okay, I will definitely have some follow-up questions about the League Classic, but first, with AP Tristana, am I supposed to start E? And
Yes.
just by instinct, I bought Doran's Blade. I hope that's
Actually,
okay for
okay.
level 1. Okay,
You can
great.
buy infinite Doran's items. So like a Doran's Blade for last hitting is pretty reasonable. I would probably get like 2 Doran's rings from here and then a Deathfire Grasp. And yeah, I would Emax, Wmax, maybe a point in Q, maybe not. I think you could leave it alone.
Oh wow, really?
I mean, I don't know if you care about attack speed when you're
That's true, yeah.
60 attack damage, nothing else.
It just
yeah, ult on cooldown.
Yeah, it feels super weird to not have a skill, you know, it's just like, again, by instinct. By the way, there's no mid?
Everything's fine, surely.
Okay. Oh, is this... I think I have AP Yi with me, yes, and he even has a Doran's ring. What do you guys think about AP Master Yi, since it was like a legendary phase of League of Legends?
I mean, he's a cool champion. I'm glad we have a lot of these like old iconic builds. I think it's actually really exciting and fun for people.
Yeah, AP is definitely one of the most requested. Like people want to play the old builds. I don't know if he's good or not. We're still assessing that, but I think it's definitely interesting.
So in terms of like choosing, I got a lot of questions from my audience, like how did they decide like which season to pick? And I know it's not like one specific season, but rather you focused on more like legendary things like, oh, AP Master E is gonna be requested, this Katarina is gonna be requested, things like that. How was the decision making behind those?
A lot of it was just like doing the unique thing, right? So actually, I did Tryndamere as well, actually. So I guess I'm 3 of the champions in this game. And it was like, well, look, if we take period accurate 2013 Tryndamere, it's a totally fine champion, but it's like really similar to the champ that's already on live. Like it's the same passive, like same spells basically everywhere. And so what I thought would be more interesting, I'll wait for this guy to like. No, I actually did that wrong. I'm screwing up my. Get him. Okay, good. I didn't play that perfectly. I should have ignited before I used W. My brain thought he had cleanse instead of W, and it's like I should ignite first so he gets less healing. But if he has cleanse, I should ignite late. Anyway, but yeah, I was like, try to do something that is unique and interesting, so that people can have like a cool experience, right? So it's like, if we just took the Season 3 Worlds patch, that would actually be the exact same. It'd be like a really similar version of Master Yi to what's on live. If we go back 2 versions, we get APE, and it's like, well, we should clearly bring that back because APE is cool, right? In the case of Tryndamere, it's like, if we took his 2013 kit, it would be basically the live kit. And so it's like, well, if you take 2010, he has like interesting things going on. You can build AP Tryndamere because his E is magic damage. Like this is when the Q had a really good heal ratio. Just like all the things like that, where it's like, hey, there's like a more interesting, version of champion here, or at least a more distinct version of the champion here if we do something else. So that was like a lot of decision making.
So don't hate me, but what's even different with this Tryndamere, because I don't know.
Sure. So basically, the Q and passive are kind of flipped. So you get AD based on Fury, and you get crit chance based on missing health. The bigger change, though, is that you get crit damage on the Q as well. And so he can get like, I don't know, 290% crit damage or something on like a full build.
Oh wow.
And that's like not even counting runes. And so it's like, okay, that's actually meaningfully distinct. And again, this is when like the heal had a really good AP ratio. So like AP Trend has like the magic damage spin, which matters a little bit. But yeah, it's the same R, it's the same W. That's always been the case. One other change as well, which I'd forgotten existed back in the day, was his spells actually cost health. And so you actually can get yourself low to like feed your own crit chance, which I was like, oh, that's actually really cool. We should try to keep that. Like that's really distinct.
Yeah, now I remember that. That used to be Tryndamere's passive. Okay, give me 1 second. I need to make a decision here.
Yeah, we're busy fighting people.
Yep, sorry about that.
All good. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, oh, you please.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think one of the core tenets, and we can dig into specific champions, but I think Freak already hit on a number of them. The core premise of Classic is to give people experiences in League of Legends that they cannot get anymore. That was like one of the most core critical things for us. And so when we were looking at champions that were different, or maybe champions in sort of the Season 3, Season 4, Season 5 era that played almost identically to how they do now, we had to basically, like, let's go back even earlier. Like, Twisted Fate was a good example where the Season 2 version even was basically the same as Modern. And then there are a few other things we were trying to keep in mind. The only tricky spot here is, like, the champions that had multiple reworks in that, like, first 2 or 3 years of League. That's a little bit trickier, but just giving people experiences they can't have anymore is one of the core things.
Yeah, that makes sense. And to be honest, back in the day, like my audience would be like, "Oh, I wish there was like a nostalgic League of Legends mode where they would like bring back all champions and maps." And I would proudly say, "Oh, like that's impossible. There's no way like they will or they can do that." So I was like super surprised when this was announced, and like with older kits and runes and everything. I want to ask this. So when playing with the old runes and masteries, I felt like, man, this is like a lot of work. We didn't know how good the new system was. Did you guys have this in back of your hand? Like, they're gonna see how much we have improved this game. Like, we're gonna prove. I know, like, the main idea is to for the fun of nostalgia, but were you guys also thinking about like proving how much the game has improved since those decisions?
Oh, that was definitely not the target. The goal wasn't to just be like, oh man, look how much.
Yeah.
There were a few cases, but like, I think people, I think even now, like, we're seeing some feedback like, oh man, I really don't like grinding for runes. And it's like, this is 40 times faster, right, than like the old grind. And
oh, really?
Like, it's much faster.
It's much faster, yeah.
Okay. I have to cut you off because I have an important question. What do I build on AP Tristan? I have no idea.
So I would get a Doran's Ring or two to make sure you have mana and health, right, so you don't get blown up. But I would get a Deathfire Grasp as your like ability all in.
Okay, thank you. Sorry to cut you off. Yes, you were saying.
You're good. Yeah, so, and actually, the Runes and Masters are actually one of the hardest things to rebuild because we have a completely different client that people are playing in. So those all had to be rebuilt from scratch, whereas some of the other stuff, we could actually take some of the old models or the old stuff, like, still working converting it, but we didn't have to rebuild it from nothing, whereas some of that stuff we totally had to. We also just kind of used this opportunity to kind of fix a few things, too, that we knew probably should just be adjusted. Like some of the standardization and stuff around, if you have like a per level rune, there were some that were just like completely unviable and like balanced out at like level 13 versus level 6 to 9, which is a huge difference. So we wanted to just like fix some of that stuff too that we knew we could, because back in the day, we really couldn't even balance runes. And the reason we couldn't is just like people had too much IP invested, and so any changes we did were almost unfeasible. But now, since it was a reset moment, we could totally do that.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because
Mostly just meant buffing really bad ones.
Yeah, just give people more choices to change their pages around.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's so good. I'm just like getting absolutely destroyed by AP Master Yi's Q over here, but I think it's
Yep.
gonna be.
You can build early
Okay,
Mar if you need.
I think I'll
It's
manage
not
long
terrible.
term. It's fine. I am super behind on CS. Please don't judge me. A, it's Tristana. B, you know, I've been away for a while. Yeah, until the League Classic was introduced, like I was having maybe the longest break from League of Legends of my life. So I'm kind of rusty. So right
We have
before
the skin for that. If you get to level 30, you'll get Rusty.
Rusty Blitzcrank, perfect. Yeah, that's real nostalgia right there. And I see in our game we have this Blue Jax, which used to be one of the like coolest skins back in the day. So it's really important. So right before we started recording, Mr. Feral Pony, we were talking about the design of Hecarim, and you said like that was one of the hardest days of League of Legends, that patch. Do you want to elaborate on that? Like what happened in the patch of the release of Hecarim, basically?
Yeah, so usually there's always problems with champions when they go out. Hecarim actually was surprisingly like really smooth as a champion launch specifically. The issue that we had was actually we were doing a bunch of like what I guess you kind of shorthand as like code merges, where we had a bunch of people working in different kind of environments, and every time it was really painful to kind of fuse the two environments together. So the team was like, okay, we're gonna do just like one fusion to fuse them all, and so we just kind of merged all these different branches together simultaneously, and it just broke everything. So yeah, it made us basically we had to patch, then we had to unpatch, which I don't think we've really ever done since. It's a real nightmare to develop in. We fixed it. It just took a while.
Nice job.
Thank you. It's an honor to gank Freak himself. So it was basic. Oh, danger.
Yep.
Okay, very good, very good.
We just
Or are
no,
we
no,
good?
Don't leave.
Okay.
If he's under tower, we can survive. But if he chases you in, like you'll just get ready. It's okay. I mean, just like hit your recall. It's fine. If he ends under tower, yeah, you're okay. Just fight him. Fight him.
I just find him. Oh, come on! Spin to win. Spin to win. There you go. Great,
That's why you
amazing.
leave him under tower, right? He
Yeah, perfect.
can't just kill you without getting away with it.
Yeah. And just to be clear, I'm gonna get the magic penetration boots, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm asking all these questions because, like, technically I'm a newbie to the League Classic at this point. Like, it's been more than 10 years, but since you guys designed this and probably playtested the hell out of it, I'm, like, assuming you have these information in your mind.
We know some things.
One thing I have noticed about League Classic is, like, I forgot how much mana everything costs. Like, it's crazy. I keep running out of mana. That's insane. What do you think about that?
That's intentional. I mean, it's the resource management is just a much bigger part of this game.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun to like. League Classic feels much slow, and I'm not 20 anymore, so I definitely appreciate that slowness. It's easier for me to keep up. I feel like the game has sped up among the years, which is like super normal because like players get more experience over time, and the newer generations like basically have like shorter attention spans and everything. So I'm curious about like how do you feel about this slower version of League of Legends?
Yeah, I mean, it's God.
Oh, I was gonna say that's like really intentional, right? A lot of the things that people were talking about were, hey, I just actually miss focusing more on strategy and positioning. The mechanics definitely kill that Master Yi, who's meditating. Get him.
Nice.
Yeah, and things like mana cost being real and mattering in lane is a big deal for Classic. It's like we want you to think before you kind of cast all your abilities, and it's less about sort of twitch reflexes.
Speaking of Twitch, he's 2-0. Unfortunate.
This Gragas on our team is really good though.
When entering League Classic, the first champion I picked was Twitch. I'm a super fan of like the absolute invisibility Twitch, but I have sadly realized there's no 50-second true invisibility. Do you guys want to talk about that? Why did you take my 50-second invisibility away?
Oh no, sorry.
Because champs should be fair, more or less.
Yeah. Okay, that's
We
fair.
thought there were two parts that were really critical to, I think, kind of the feelable Twitch. One was
nice
that really long duration stealth. It's like, hey, is this that's sort of like a cool strategic part of the character. Totally think that's awesome. The flip side of that is also like the old stealth mechanic and just sit on somebody with like kind of basically no counterplay is really bad. And so we kind of had to basically pick, do we want really long duration strategic map stealth or do we want pure invisibility? And definitely we started with the first, and then player feedback was very strong on PBE that they actually wanted, they valued more the, true invisibility, even if it's shorter duration.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was like the one of the best parts of the older Twitch, and it's definitely a part of the nostalgia. So I'm glad you guys went along with that. Quick question about items once again. I have money for Morello, and since we have like AP Mastery and Gangplank, should I go for that?
With your E, no.
Oh, that's right. Thank you, thank you. I feel a little embarrassed because like whenever I make a video these days, my audience makes fun of me all like, oh, you used to be so knowledgeable. Now like the last video I made, I forgot to buy boots like at 30-minute mark. I'm like, why am I so slow? And I notice I don't have boots on an almost full build Twitch. So yeah.
I mean, as long as they all die, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, you can edit the video and just voice and be like, "Oh, I don't need that because I have grievous wounds on my E," and then you sound really smart.
Yeah,
You
that
can
makes
use AI to fake Freak's voice and say, "Be like,
Oh,
I don't
great.
know if I."
That's a good thing. I definitely want that to happen.
Definitely.
Okay. So how was the reception for League Classic so far? Do you think it's gonna be a permanent mode? What do players think? How's the situation so far?
I think generally reception so far has been really positive. I think it's sort of a mix of like a lot of our audience isn't people who are currently playing League, right? A lot of our audience is people who used to play League, and so I think for that, a lot of it is trying to capture. I'm sorry, trying to make sure I don't totally miss all these last hits. Trying to basically capture that feeling and vibe of like, hey, when did I remember playing League, and what, can I go back to those days and those kind of feels, which is really important. So I think generally, like, we're definitely meeting those goals a lot. In terms of like, how long the mode lasts or is it permanent, that's still like we're figuring that out. But obviously, we want to make this as long as we can. If people love it, we'll keep it going.
Excuse me for 1 second. I'm busy dying. Close one. Oh, that was a sad flash.
Not the best flash. All right, we're in there.
And how about the ideation process? Since like I know this must have cost you guys like insane amount of resources to bring back all this spaghetti code and different versions of times, like whether it be thinking about what to bring and implementing it and making sure it's bug free. So it's a huge thing to start basically. How did this idea like came to reality? What was the first spark? How did you guys end up like, okay, you know what, we're actually gonna do this? Would you like to give us like a brief history of the situation?
Sure. Yeah, I can do that. This is one of those things that's like we've always been kind of talking about, and players I think have always been kind of talking about to some degree, more or less, depending on sort of like what era of League we're in. Obviously, when you're in Season 5, there isn't a lot of nostalgia for like beta, although I'm sure that existed to some extent. And so I think the first thing that happened was player demand just got higher, right? Like the longer we went and the more League kind of evolved, there was a lot of push to make things more original. Oh.
Yeah, good
And
luck.
then, yeah, and then I think the I'm gonna try to save you.
Yeah, I don't think I'm getting out of here alive. Ooh. Maybe I do. Ah! Okay.
Oh, so close.
Yeah, it's fine.
So I think the first thing was basically hearing from players that they were interested. Oh no.
Nice.
And then after that, it was okay. Cool. There is a demand here. You know, should we and can we do it? So we have a thing internally that we call Thunderdome, which is basically sort of a hackathon that we run like about once a year or so. And one of the teams got together and was like, "Hey, can we try to revive this?" And so they kind of whipped together this really hacky version. Didn't run great, didn't play like super great, but it was enough to be like, "Oh, this does actually feel really different, and this can be really fun." And so it was sort of a proof of concept. So that sort of got internal excitement from folks. We sort of played it, tried it out, and then they were like, we can have a team tackle this. So we grabbed one of the teams that had just worked on some of the around game modes. I think they had just finished working on Doombots, and they were looking for another game mode to tackle. And it was like, why don't we try Classic and see if it works? And then they pulled a few of us OGs who've been at League right like for a long time now, and so we just kind of combined forces, DBZ fusion style dance, and then we made we got Classic.
Was there anything that you wanted from League Classic, like a specific champion or something? For example, for me, it's the old Shan, and I'm happy that it's coming back very soon, I guess. Tomorrow, like that close. Okay, perfect. So things like that. Is there anything that you personally miss but didn't make it to at least this patch?
Uh, Actually, like, my old mains are all still in the game. Like, I played a bunch of, like, Corki, Karthus, Fiddlesticks, Fibber back in the day, and those are all in. Because they're all, like, original. I mean, like, when I first started playing, it was literally original 40. Actually, I remember playing before Corki even got added. So it's like, you know, my, like, first mains are in the game by default. So, like, I mean, I'll keep, you know, playing as, you know, stuff comes in, but, like all my initial mains are in the game already. It's great.
Yeah, I think the only one that I used to main that I'm missing right now is Udyr.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one, actually.
Yeah, so that'll be awesome when he gets in. But other than that, you know, we're trying to make sure we definitely hit all the original 40. That was one of the huge requirements that we initially set up. It's like we need all the launch champions.
Does anybody wanna give me a suggestion about my next item?
Deathcap.
Okay.
Deathcap, then Void Staff. Good ult. Good luck.
Yeah.
You're dead.
Oh, I had that fire, but I forgot to use it. Whoops.
Oh, okay. I should stop recommending Deathfire. You can just go get a Deathcap and a Void Staff.
Yeah, the good thing about playing AP Tristana is I can always blame the champion. I'm like, oh man, like I should have played AD Tristana the good old convenient way, and I'll be them good. This is like absolutely the champion's fault. So you know, I'm good. I'm okay. Plus, my audience. Sorry, what?
Oh, I was saying you can do that on any champion you play. You don't need to do that on.
I guess, yeah.
I should have played AP Trinity. Darn.
And my audience like enjoys seeing me suffering, like very specifically and exclusively, so no worries on that.
I'm glad we're providing them the experience that they deserve.
Yeah. If you guys...
I'm 0-3, so I'm trying to contribute to that.
Oh wow, great, perfect. It's really good to know I'm not alone in this experience. Okay, what should we do here? Do you guys remember on the rework of the old Runeterra map, there were like some map pieces sent to content creators that covered lore?
Oh, from like the original box map?
Oh, that's not good.
I'm gonna slowly run away from here, leaving you to your fate.
No, Twitch is here too. This game sucks.
It's a lot of
Okay,
people.
We got Dragon.
Jack's gonna gank. You might turn. Oh,
Oh, they know. They know.
They know.
They can't use vision. That's BS.
Yeah.
That's not class. They can't buy wards.
How dare they? Okay, at least I got my one.
Menzilime girdiler.
So let's go back to the exclusive thing about this video is I get to talk to you guys, right? So, and one of my famous mains back in the day was Hakarim. I already mentioned you. What other champions did you work on, and what's your proudest work?
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So I was in a bit of a weird spot. So most designers that were on champion team were doing lots of champions. I tended to get pulled in just when we were really behind schedule. So I was always on a champion that was really far behind. And it was one every so often. So the first one I worked on was Rumble. That was on a really tight timeline. I think he's probably the one I'm most proud of. Oh my, they got Baron.
Yeah.
Bir şeyleri vurmak istiyorum.
They did.
Yeah, I kind of get that point because Rumble is almost still the same. Such a original kit that survived 10 plus years. So
Yeah, Freak made some questionable changes a while ago.
Rumble was also one of my favorite champions for a while since I had a pretty long League of Legends career. I also played since season 1. So I have witnessed a lot of things, and Rumble was definitely one of those exciting champion releases for me as well.
Yeah, I think I was really proud of him, mostly because of just the super tight time frame we had on him too. He had to be one of the most complex champions that we shipped, and we did him in, I think, in start to finish 5 weeks, which was pretty nutty at the time.
Wait, 5 weeks? Are you for real? And he doesn't use mana, he has his own systems, with overheat mechanic and everything. It's super unique champion. That's crazy to hear.
Yeah, it was not a good idea in hindsight. First champion I ever worked on, we were so tight on time that we skipped concept art. Basically, we just
What?
yeah, we skipped 2D art. We didn't have time. So the modeler basically that I was working with, who was awesome. Basically, we started working, and he basically was like, "I'm just gonna make a weird little mech chassis, and then we're gonna just start making abilities." And we just agreed 1 ability per button. And then he's just gonna start making weapons, and I was just gonna start making abilities, and we hope that 4 of them line up.
That is actually crazy. And I guess it's such a different time now. You guys have this huge teams and over a year pipelines for champions and thinking about ideas, too many drafts, tying them to the lore and everything. And back in the day, it just used to be, hey, I'm gonna make a Yordle in a mech. Let's see what happens after a month. That's crazy.
Shockingly similar. You're basically completely correct. Yeah. Go to the wall and pull a post-it note off, and one of the post-it notes said "Yordle in a mech." Yeah. So after Rumble, I worked on Graves, and then Hecarim and Jace. I did a few reworks as well at the time. So I worked on the original Jax rework when we removed dodge from the game, and then I also worked on the Trundle update, the first Udyr update, and then I did some work on the Scion update.
That's a spicy topic. Removing dodge. It used to be a big thing. You would get dodge runes. I remember killing everybody else on level 1 on Twisted Tree Line with Jax. It was an insane E. So what do you want to say about removing dodge?
It was incredibly controversial.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That was also one of those cases where I think it was probably still the right call, but my boss at the time just told me, "Hey, you're going to remove dodge. Make it."
Ooh,
Oh,
nice one. Ooh, he continues. Okay, he can't. He
should
does.
have.
Well, still cool.
Yeah, this Gragas is very
He had
good.
no cooldowns left. That was wrong, but yeah, he's played well. Unfortunately, he didn't buy a Sightstone. He's just trying to carry from support, which, sure.
Havai fişeklere hazır mısın?
But he's doing pretty good.
I just want to go public with this information. It's we are now on the 29th minute, and I haven't used my Deathfire Grasp once, so that is completely Freak's fault for recommending this active item to me, and it has nothing to do with me. But now I have used it. Let's see if it's useful. And it did bring me the kill. Thank you, Freak. Absolutely, your achievement this kill is. So thank
absolutely
you.
best item in the game. You're welcome.
There was a point in time, I think I did it with DFG, I can't remember, but we got the ability to sort of put custom data hooks into scripts, and I was like, I actually think it literally was DFG. So I put trackers in to see like how many people actually never cast DFG in the entire game. And at like lower elos, it was like something like 50 to 60% of players.
Oh my god.
maybe not touching it. And I was like, oh, okay, well, it's just for high skill players. And then even in Diamond Plus, there was something like almost 20% of players, an average game, in Diamond Plus never cast their DFG.
Never.
You
Oh
are
my
not alone.
god. That is crazy. But like, which season are we talking about here?
This was early seasons. Before we did, I think the season 4 DFG change. So something kind of in that space. It's like first couple seasons.
I see. But yeah, I think that's one of the things I noticed with League of Legends. Like, the knowledge creep is very real. Like, in seasons 1 and 2, nobody knew what they were doing. But I guess after the era of YouTubers and stuff, like, that changed drastically.
Yeah, I think so. And just, honestly, just with time, getting reps, you just get better at it. Oh, what a great ult. Wall.
What are we gonna do? Yeah.
Oh, we can fight, we can fight.
Cool.
Okay, I think we're done here. Oh.
Or are we? Yeah, I just decided to randomly die.
we're done.
My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad.
Or are we? It has no cooldowns.
I got one Baron buff still. I'll keep
Yep.
it. I'll try to keep it.
Yeah, that's the other side of AP Trist, is if your R is on cooldown, you're not killing anybody. You just gotta like, take your first and leave.
Okay. Well, you could have told me earlier, but...
I mean, you play League of Legends, you know what cooldowns are.
Yeah, the thing about is, I'm not good at League of Legends. Like, I'm a pretty edge case in terms of being a League of Legends YouTuber. My
Good at
deal
League of
was...
Legends is not an edge case.
I guess that's fair. So, what's my next item then?
Void Staff.
Okay.
Um,
I'm a lore guy.
nice.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
so...
That's very cool.
And everybody used to make...
go
sorry,
ahead.
what?
No, go.
So, back in the day, and I'm a lore guy from the like super early days, where there was basically like no lore, right? And everybody used to make fun of me, like, oh, this game like basically has no lore, it's just a MOBA, like why would you even talk about the story? Like this is super useless, super waste of time. And then as things evolve and there's now like a famous Netflix show, and I'm like, you know what, told you guys, and it's such a good redemption for me. Like, I have been 10 years ahead of you folks type of situation. So yeah, I'm super happy about all that. You were saying?
Oh, I was actually just curious. Like, so like, was there a particular part of the lore that you were like most excited about? Like, what were you? What like drew you in?
Interesting. I like generally like the world building type of stuff anyway. You know, I'm a nerd, huge on D&D and stuff. So like if there's a original IP somewhere, I'm automatically interested in. And one of the things I think League of Legends done well, even on the early, is they didn't stick to like, ooh, elves, orcs type of stuff, but they came up with their own setting with the Yordles and stuff. Okay, let's talk about the fight here.
Oh, I'm dead. Wow, we just don't kill anybody.
We killed one.
I guess. Yep. Oh, he's dead. Just live. Just live.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
No, he's dead. Just live. Just live.
I'm trying.
Can't help. Well, you kept turning back for throwing Qs.
Yeah, but I have like
Keep-
Iceborne Gauntlet.
Yeah, I'm just saying that there's an invisible Twitch who could chase you down. Just be
No,
careful.
because I've got an Iceborne Gauntlet. You can't do shit. I'm way too pro.
Understand. Okay, good luck.
Let me see if I am the worst. I am the worst, but you know what you gonna do. Yeah, so basically I appreciate the original lore of the game, and I was always thinking like those people are super interested in these champions. Like they make Zed their profile picture, but they know nothing about the background because reading who does it. So I thought like if I like voice those stories, just like read them out loud with a stupid slideshow, would that interest people? And turns out it does. Yeah, that's basically how my YouTube
Awesome.
career got like a jump start. Yeah.
Fişeklere hazır mısın?
That's cool.
And now we're in a point where like I'm so famous, I get to be carried by Freak. So cool.
Well, I'm 8-8. I don't know about carried.
Bir şeyleri vurmak istiyorum.
Attempting to get carried, let's say.
Yeah.
Ooh, those big minions with big hands. It's been a while.
Yep. Good old super minions.
The entire team is missing. That is slightly alarming.
Yeah.
Seconds of coming across the map.
Gangplank is running
Twitch is
towards
almost
us.
really near
Should we
mid.
do something? Oh, wow. Oh, that hurt.
We fighting? I think we're fighting.
We're coming. I wasted my R. What do? We go
Okay, I
back?
can go lifesteal somewhere. Good luck.
Oh,
folks.
perfect.
It's looking pretty playable. All right, Pharaoh Pony, give me those Ezreal heals. Oh,
Boom! Oh no! So close. Okay, cool. He died to my E.
Yep.
Sick. That works. We'll take it. We take these.
Perfect.
we can probably do more.
Yeah, let's win it. Let's win it.
Havai fişeklere hazır
I believe in us.
Can we? Gangplank is coming, but Freak hits a lot.
I think we're fine.
Yep.
Really, just do that?
I can attempt to explain, but it will be in vain.
We did it.
Yeah, it's about to end result.
We ended on the right note, I think.
I needed one more blunder for sure. Yeah. Well, thank you guys like so much for spending your valuable time watching me feed and helping me somehow miraculously win this game. Like even since the tons of damage era, I've been a huge fan. So like both of you, this is a huge honor for my audience as well. I got a C, by the way, which is perfect. Do you guys want to like say anything in the closure of the video or anything?
Yeah, League of Legends is a pretty great game. Thanks for playing. I appreciate you being here the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, Classic really was there to. We made it really to target folks like you, and so it's really awesome to see folks that have been around for a while who like fell in love with League at an era where things were very different, right? But we're kind of getting into the swing of things and things like that. So, yeah, super appreciate the reaching out, try to get a hold of us, and getting us to play games. It's been a lot of fun, and just appreciate all the support, and hope both yourself and your folks continue to play and love Classic.
Well, thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.